This video will be kind of different from the general videos that I make, and I just genuinely want to put this out. There's no goal, like generally I try to promote my program and stuff, but this time I just want to put this video out just because there's so much misinformation about this particular topic, and I just want to give my own opinion. So first of all, what's the topic? The topic is how do you actually get girls? Now you might think that hey, this guy doesn't even get girls or whatever, and I'll agree that I'm not perfect with getting girls, but I at least went from a 0 to a 1, so I can help you from a 0 to a 1. Because what I think is going from a 0 to a 1 is at least a bare minimum. Of course, some people are stuck at 0 while others are at 7 or 8 or 10. Now, I was 0, but then I became 1. So, I just want to put this out like what actually changed. And I don't want to like try to motivate you to buy my program or course or anything. Of course, you can do it if you want. But right now, I just want to put this video out. So, the thing is, when we talk about getting girls, the biggest misconception we have is that talking to girls is not a skill, but rather it's a combination of skills. Now you might think like, what the fuck does that mean, like a combination of skills? But the meaning is simple. When you ask someone, how do you get girls? Or what's the best method to get girls? What will the answer be? The answer will be get a good body, as in like go to the gym, then have a good fashion sense, then maybe like try to look cool and sound like a Sigma male or something. They will say all these things, but they'll miss one thing, which is the most important thing, which is actually talking to girls. Now you might think like that's obvious, like what? But the thing is, okay, first of all, let me give you an analogy because this will make it 100 times simpler. Getting girls is very similar to learning to play a piano. So, now you might be thinking like, what does that mean? How does piano and girls correlate to each other? The thing is, getting girls is a skill in itself. It's not a combination of skills like going to the gym, then having good fashion sense, then being rich, then also being a Sigma or something. Getting girls is a skill in itself. Of course, I'm not saying that going to the gym will not help you at all, or it is a very indirect kind of help. Of course, it will directly increase your chances. But let's say you're a girl, you're a 10 out of 10 girl. Now, would you prefer to go with a guy who goes to the gym but who doesn't even know how to talk, who doesn't even look at in your eyes when he talks to you? Or would you prefer to go with a guy who isn't that good looking, but he knows perfectly how to make you laugh, how to make you feel comfortable, and how to like just make you just want to be with him? Of course, you'd prefer to go with the second guy. Even if the first guy has more muscles, even if the first guy has been going to the gym for 5 years, you'd still prefer to go with the second guy, right? And that's exactly what happens. But now compare two guys with same level of social skills, like they're at a bare minimum level of social skills, they both, but one guy has a good body while the other does not. Who will you prefer to go with now? Of course, the guy with the good body, right? Because if they're completely equal, then a good body will be something which you will be attracted to more rather than someone who is fat or something. So while it can directly help, it's not the main cause for it. Alright. Now, let me get to this piano analogy. So, just like when we learn to play a piano, do you care if your instrument is perfect? If the piano that you're playing, the actual instrument, is really good, if you have pedals, if your sitting position is right, do you care about that or do you care about playing the piano? You care about playing the piano. Someone who has a perfect piano, perfect seating posture, perfect seat, perfect room, perfect environment, but who doesn't even play the piano, who doesn't press the keys, will still be bad at piano. But someone who has a toy piano, but still plays every day and still has a decent level of skills in knowing the songs and memorizing the scales and stuff, will of course be good at it, right? And when comparing these two guys, the second one will be objectively better. Now, of course, if you give the second guy more pedals and a better environment, then of course he will become even better. But right now, he's still at a bare minimum level, at least above that guy, the first guy. So the thing is that when you're talking about girls, it is a skill in itself which is comparable to playing the piano. Now, just like when you first start playing the piano, will you be perfectly good? Answer me, will you be perfectly good in playing the piano when you first play it? Let's say you want to play the song Prelude in C, alright? So, will you perfectly play it the first time that you play the piano? Answer is no, of course. And if I ask you right now, can you perfectly play this song when you play it for the first time? Your answer would be no, of course, because I have never touched it, right? But if you have already been playing piano for years and then I randomly give you Prelude in C, given that you have never played it before, then there's a decent chance that you'll be able to play it pretty well on the first try, right? That's the exact thing. When we talk about girls, your first interaction with girls will obviously be very weird. You cannot expect your interaction with girls to be something amazing the first time you talk to them. It will be awkward, you will not know what to say, the jokes will not land, even it could even be so that the girls will look at you weird, or they might even like think that you are creepy or something. But as long as your intentions are good and you're actually trying hard to just grow this as a skill, you're good to go. Because just understand this, no matter which skill it is, you will not be good at it the first time you do it. Be it playing the piano, be it talking to girls, be it making friends, Be it going to the gym, be it anything, you will not be good at it. So treat talking to girls as a skill in itself. Now, I talked about first the other things like going to the gym, having a good fashion sense, being indirect or even direct, but not directly correlated causes for like improving your chances with girls. Second, talking to girls is a skill in itself, so you will be bad the first time you try it. Now let me tell you a story of my own. So, when I first talked to a girl, okay, I had a crush on this one girl and I started talking to her. I was very awkward, like very, very awkward. You cannot even imagine the level of awkwardness. So we get on a call, like I say to her that hey, we should call and stuff, and she says, alright, sure. Now we're on a call, and then I'm just trying to sound cool, but I'm not even like coming off as decent. I'm just coming off as creepy or desperate or something. For example, I'm saying, hey, what's up and stuff, and then she says, hi, what are you doing? And then I suddenly remember this one advice that do not tell about your life to girls. Then I suddenly say, yes, I'm doing work. Then I remembered to ask girls questions. Then I asked, what are you doing? She said that, hey, I'm doing this or that or whatever. And then I remembered the advice to not like care that much about the girls, otherwise they will start taking you for granted. So I said, alright, whatever. Now, of course, if you consider that as an interaction, you will of course think that it is very awkward, right? Very awkward. Now, at the end, when the call was cutting, I literally said to her, okay, thank you for talking to me. And you might think that it's pretty normal, but it was really awkward. But now, if you give me a random girl's phone number and you just say that, hey, talk to this girl, then I will be able to talk to that girl for even 2 or 3 hours. The thing being that I have developed this skill so much at this point. Then, after the first interaction, I slowly started talking to girls more and more. Like I got the phone number of this one girl, then I started talking to this girl, then of another girl, then of another girl. And now comes that one night on which I realized that I actually started getting good with girls on call. There was this one girl, I started talking to her, and we literally talked on a call for 6 hours straight. Then the next night, we again talked for 6.5 hours. At that point, I realized that wait, I can actually hold a conversation with girls now. And that was when I realized that you literally cannot be good the first time you try. You might think that you will be good, you might think that it will be perfect, but it will not be. The first time you do anything, be it anything, you will be bad. Be it the first time you study, be it the first time you play piano, be it the first time you go to the gym. It will be very weird, it will be very awkward. Maybe you will even think that you're very cringe. But that's a part of the process. It's like you cannot skip the first step. And the first step is be bad at it and accept that you're bad at it. Then slowly repeat again and again. Now, the third thing with the analogy is that when you're playing a piano and you are practicing one particular piece for 3 or 4 days straight. Alright, you first practice for 1 hour on the first day, then on the second day you again practice for 1 hour, and so on. So, will you slowly get good at it? Even if you're not consciously thinking that you should be good at it, will you slowly get good at it, given that you're at least trying to be good at it? Right? The answer is yes. The thing is that your mind just remembers even the most unnoticeable things about an event, an interaction, or about any skill just so that it can improve. For example, when talking to girls, your mind might remember that say the joke 2 or 3 seconds after the laugh so that it becomes even more funny. Or your mind might start creating a theory like when a girl is laughing, look at her in the eyes. So basically, it starts creating and testing theories, and sometimes you may be conscious of that, other times you may not be. But this always happens. So slowly, you will realize that even if you're not consciously trying to get good, you will slowly get good if you start talking to girls more and more. Then, as with the piano, if you have played for a long enough time, then I suddenly give you a random piece, you will be able to play it easily. Similarly, if you have been talking to a lot of girls, then I give you a random girl to talk to. You will be able to hold her attention, your mind will know exactly what to say to her, when to laugh, when to not, and how to assess her personality. And that's why some people are naturally good with girls, because they have had so many trials and errors that now it is just natural to them. It's like if you are a guy and you have talked to 300 girls, then will the 301st girl be any different to you? Like, will you feel that she's special? Will you feel that she's amazing, she's a goddess or something? No, you will not. You will just think that she's just another girl in your list, right? She's just a different human being that you have to talk to. And that's what I want for you. I don't want you to suddenly become a Sigma male or something and just start talking to girls. Neither do I want you to become a playboy. I just want you to understand that talking to girls is not that big of a deal as people make it out to be. Talking to girls is the equivalent of playing a piano or learning any other skill. Now you can take the analogy at any level. You can even say that it's about boxing. Like when you first do boxing on the first day, you're obviously bad, but slowly you get good. Or even you can say that it's equivalent to going to the gym or even studying. When you first study something, you do not know what it means. Then slowly you start understanding as you try again and again. That's the exact thing that is happening here, alright? Then, another thing is, am I perfect with girls? if you ask me, am I perfect with girls? The answer is no, of course not. Of course, I'm still learning. But the thing is, just because you're learning doesn't mean that you cannot give advice to other people. Just because I have become good with girls, I think that I can at least tell you how I became from 0 to 1. Earlier, I couldn't even hold a conversation with a girl. I couldn't even look girls in the eyes. Earlier, I used to think that being a girl must be so amazing because all the guys give you attention and whatever. But now, that thing is slowly losing value in my mind. Now, slowly, girls are turning from goddesses into human beings. And I think that's step 1. Now, slowly, I'll go to step 2 and 3 and 4. Of course, I'll be able to talk to girls on calls and on messages and in real life too. But the thing is that I gotta try and try. If you try more and more, then you will get good with girls. Now, I'll give you some action steps which you can do just today or tomorrow if you have school tomorrow, so that you can at least you can expect that you will get a decent chance of having a conversation with a girl. So, go to the school and just sit in a place randomly, alright? Now, let's say there's a test or some homework or something in your class. Just go to a girl, any girl. If there's a girl sitting next to you, if there's a girl sitting behind you, if there's a girl sitting right to you, just ask her, hey, did you complete that homework? Or hey, did you do this? Or did you do that? Now, of course, do not make it awkward like, what did you do this weekend? Or are you free tomorrow or something weird shit like that. First, ask from something general. Imagine that a girl is a guy with long hair and slightly different looking face. That's what helped me so much. Just think it that way. Imagine every girl is a guy, is a man, and they just have long hair and they just look kind of different. Otherwise, they're exactly the same. Then, if there's a guy and you want to talk to him, you'll just go to him and say that, hey, have you completed this assignment? What was this? Like, can you help me with this question or whatever? Now, slowly, as you say this, maybe it becomes kind of awkward. But remember, it's just a part of the process. Of course, it will be awkward. But then, if you say this to them, if you say this to her or them or whatever, yeah, then she will also say something to you later on. Or if she does not, then just make it a general habit to just say something to her. Of course, if there's a like completely negative reaction, like she starts screaming or something, then of course do not do this like again and again. But if there's a neutral reaction, then do it more normally and more casually till the point it becomes casual and she will start talking to you on her own. And that's how you build a connection with girls. I'm not saying to completely go all out and just suddenly ask her on a date, a girl that you've never even talked to. Neither am I saying to completely stay reserved and do not talk and not to talk to girls at all. I'm just saying that build up connection like it's a general connection. And remember, do not do this with your crush on the first try because then your mind will start thinking about the outcomes too much. I'll say do it with a girl who doesn't look that good or you do not have that much interest in her, so that your mind doesn't even put her on a pedestal or anything and it just thinks that she is just another random girl. Alright? And then when you start talking to her more and more, you will slowly, at least ideally, have a good female friend. Then from her, you start talking to her friends, then more, then you build a whole social circle of yourself and the girls and stuff and your own friends and stuff. And then other girls also start talking to you. Then slowly you get good with girls and then it becomes a positive feedback loop. See, you talk to one girl, you slowly increase the interaction, you get good with her, you get good with talking to one girl, then that gives you confidence, so you talk to another girl, then you slowly increase the contact and stuff, then again you get better, you improve more, then you talk to another girl, and so on, till the point you wouldn't even realize that you have just become good with girls. You suddenly know what to say, when to say something and when to say not. You'll realize all these things, even if unconsciously, you'll just realize that girls are laughing at your jokes more, they're suddenly looking at you more, they're suddenly asking you more questions. That's what happens. Now, of course, you might think that, hey, this guy is just like saying weird shit or whatever. But that's not true, of course. Because there's no point in me lying to you. Like, if you think that I'm lying to you and there's a secret technique to get girls, the answer is no. And yes, one more thing that I wanted to cover up was that, okay, first of all, let me tell you this one thing before I move on to the other thing. This thing is, guess how many times I've been rejected in my life by girls in real life. I'm not talking about online at all, in real life. Guess. You might think 10, 20, 30. The answer is, I literally do not know, but on an estimate, over 50. I've literally talked to over 50 girls and I've been rejected most of the times. Now, of course, it doesn't mean that I'm bad looking, it doesn't mean that I do not know how to talk to girls. It just means that I got rejected at that particular moment. Remember, social life is not something which is very perfect or very concrete, and just because you are good looking or just because you know how to talk to girls, suddenly all girls will say yes to you. It just means that at that moment the girl said no to you. Now, guess how many times I've been like accepted, how many times I've got the girl's number. Again, I don't exactly know, but over 10 or 15. So the thing is that I've been rejected 5 times more than I've been accepted. For every girl that has accepted me, I've been rejected by 5 more. Do you get that? So the thing is that You cannot expect to be good with girls. You can just slowly increase the contact more, increase the trial and error till the point rejection becomes normal for you. The point is not to become good with girls, as in you want to become perfect with girls. The point is that you want to decrease the value of rejection so much that if a girl says no to you, you do not even care about that. Like right now, if I'm with my friends and my friend says that hey, talk to that girl, and I go to her and I say hey, I think you're really cute, can I get your number or something, and she says no, or even if she disrespects me saying that hey, you look like this or that or whatever, then I would just walk away without even thinking about it. I would just forget her face. Like I cannot even tell you how many times I've been rejected by a girl, and just 10 seconds later I forgot how she even looked like. And that's the exact thing that happens. After rejection, your mind at least gets the closure. Your mind starts thinking that hey, if I at least got the answer, then that means that there is nothing that could happen because she said no. If you do not ask her, then your mind just starts thinking that maybe it's a yes, maybe it's a no. So the better thing is just to go and ask her. If she says no, then fine. Now, of course, I'm not saying to go and ask her that hey, do you wanna get married or something. I'm just saying that just go to her and say that hey, I think you look really cute. Can you get your Insta? Now, most likely the girl will say no on your first try at least. After that, on your like fifth or sixth try, maybe she'll say yes. Like the first time I got a yes in cold approaching was maybe after my seventh try. Alright. So the thing is that you go and talk to girls, you increase the contact more till the point you become better with girls. That's the exact thing. I cannot tell you anything which is more than this. Now, about that thing that I was saying. The thing is, earlier I used to think that there's some magical line or there is some particular thing that only guys who are good with girls have, but I don't. At least I used to be very insecure about my color because my color is slightly darker, right? But then, suddenly, when I started talking to girls more and more, I realized that wait, even white girls, even girls who have like very fair skin, are attracted to me. So it's not that color matters, age matters. Of course, age matters, yeah. It's not that color matters, richness matters, or how you look like, or if you look really good, if you go to the gym, if you have good fashion sense, if you have a car or something. These things may add to it, but they do not matter in comparison to actually talking to girls. A guy who knows how to talk to girls will always beat the guy who is rich but doesn't know, who has a good body but doesn't know, who has a good fashion sense but doesn't know. That's the thing that you gotta remember. Just because you look kind of bad doesn't mean that the girl will reject you. It just means that you do not look that bad. You do not look that good. That's the simple thing. It doesn't mean anything about your life. It doesn't mean anything like you suddenly cannot get girls. It just means that you do not look that good. And it's fine. Of course, if you look better, it would be better. But if you have already done everything like changing your hairstyle and like maybe trying to look better by fashion sense or buying better clothes and whatever, if you've tried everything, then there's nothing much that you can really do. So just give up on it and increase the skill in itself. You wanna get girls? Talk to girls more. You wanna do anything in life? Do it more and more till the point your brain starts learning the pattern. You wanna be more fit? Go to the gym more and more. You wanna have a better body? Again, go to the gym more and more. You wanna be better in playing the piano? Play the piano more and more. Do the skill rather than the side quests. I think many people confuse side quest and main quest. The main quest is talking to the girl. Side quest is just learning random skills just so that they can slightly help. The thing is, if you are really good with piano, you might get 10 girls every year. If you're really good with like good looking, then you might get 15 or 20 girls every year. But if you know how to talk to girls and how to approach them, then you can basically get one girl every day. So more than 300 girls. That's the difference, right? Now, this is all I had. And this video was completely based on my personal experiences about getting girls and what I did not know, what I knew, and I just wanted to make that clear. Because the thing is, there is no magical skill, there is nothing that suddenly makes you good with girls, neither there is something that suddenly makes you bad with girls. That's the thing is, you gotta look at least like bare minimum. You gotta look at least decent. You cannot look completely bad, like you haven't taken a bath in years and there's snot on your face or something, and then you cannot expect a girl. Of course, that's a bare minimum level that you gotta cross. After that, it's all about talking to girls. It's just that easy. Now you might not believe it. You might think that hey, it's all looks that matter, but that's not it. While looks may matter a bit, they are not the complete story. Just remember that. Now, in the start of the video, I said that hey, if you do not want to like buy the program or whatever, and I'm not trying to promote it or whatever. And of course, this isn't even my topic. My topic is about studying and stuff. But I just wanted to put this out there because I just wanted to help even one person who was watching this video. Of course, I know that this video will get maybe 10 views or 15 views or something. But that doesn't, like, I don't mind that at all. If I can help even one guy like me, then that's more than enough, to be honest. because I know how bad it is when you see a girl talking to this one guy. You know that you look better than him, you have maybe better skills than him, but the girl is just choosing him over you. I know that pain. That's why I just think that even if this video just gets 3 views, but just one comment saying that hey, this video helped, or even if no comments, that doesn't matter. If someone just watched this video through and implements the action steps in their life, that's more than enough for me. Now, you can buy my studying program. Of course, it doesn't relate to the video, but if you want and if you're interested, then you can watch other videos that are related to studying and how to be better in studying. Then, I'll see you later. Till then, you can watch other videos. I'll see you later. Work like a dog, build like a lion.